Whether from sensational headlines or the anecdotes I hear from immigration lawyers I know personally, or the anecdotes from all of you, there are so many people that reach out that are moving to Europe, to France in particular, usually when it comes to me. However, a lot of big questions, even my family thinking about it. Like a lot of people thinking about getting the F out of the US, to the point that the Wall Street Journal says crazy things like more people left the country than entered it for the first time since the Great Depression, which I'm pretty sure if you did some research would be demonstrably untrue. But it's there in print, so people are thinking about it. And even today's patron producers, the Daily Diamonds, are Americans who moved to France. It's a thing. We're surrounded by each other. We can't. I'm one of them. But in having these conversations, and I have a lot of them, or I've had a lot of them over the last decade, there's one problem that keeps rising to the surface. It's not actually Starbucks. Let me show you. When you grow up in a place like the United States or anywhere, you collect a lot of things you may or may not be aware of. You might have your sense of humor that you get along with your friends. You've got your idea of how work culture is. Or maybe you have like an idea around how long you should spend sitting at the table talking with your family over dinner, or how you approach dinner in the first place. How do you cut cheese? Do you even think about cutting cheese? You might not. But as time goes on, you have a lot of ways that develop of how you see the world, how you relate to it, and how you relate to the society around you that collect to fill up this space that I suppose represents your life, your brain, maybe even your soul. I really hope not your soul. And when you go to move abroad, what you may or may not realize is you bring this little cup of your life with you into the culture that you are now going to call home. And what most people try to do is this. Not realizing there's already a cup here and it's already very full. This isn't inherently the problem, right? Like, you cannot help this. You are the product of your environment, of your upbringing, of your personality, of your preferences, of so many things that are out of your control, and many things that are within your control. The problem isn't that you bundle this all together into what is effectively who you are, right? And where you come from. The problem comes from a lack of awareness of this fact. And this is something that has popped up in so many conversations over the years that I thought, you know what? I don't know if it's gonna help, but we can address it. And yes, I recognize the irony of talking about this while I'm on my way to Taco Tuesday with my friends, but I think it'll actually illustrate the point really well. When you arrive in a place like France and you have a plate full of tacos, when you arrive in a place like France and you have your plate full of tacos, and France has a different plate full of tacos, a lot of people look at those and go like, well, actually, a lot of people look at those and are like, I want all of that and none of this. That's a nice level of self-awareness. But a lot of times you arrive and you're like, why is not everything barbacoa? And get frustrated by the fact that this is simply different. And I think there's a really beautiful thing that can happen when you're aware of the differences between the two, which is that if you want to mix and match these and change a camaron for a barbacoa, or you want to switch it up in any other way, there's an unsung beauty in being able to pick and choose the cultural elements that make you who you are. And as an immigrant, the expectations are different. People don't hold you to the same boxes, and you can switch, mix and match back and forth. Which includes doing things like observing Taco Tuesday, even though you live in France, and nobody can handle spicy food here. Something should be tossed, I guess. I get crap for this literally all the time. Like, there was somebody that left a comment recently saying like, I don't remember what exactly they said, but they were upset that I put all this time and energy into learning French and moving to France, and that I make content in English. But it's like, yeah, I'm a writer. I've been writing in English forever. I make content in English. I have forever. I do make some things in French, but my audience is English speaking, and so much of what I have to share is in English. Doesn't mean a lot of my life isn't in French here. Same with the coffee. People give me a hard time for drinking these to-go coffees and not sitting in a cafe somewhere, which I do enjoy, but I really like good coffee a lot as well. And that's the thing. There's so much life to be added and changed, but there are so many things that you can keep with you as well when you come to a new country, when you come to a new culture. And I think there's a real beauty in maintaining a sense of who you were while that evolves into who you become in your new place. Like, I'll never be French in that sense that, like, I didn't grow up here, I don't have the jokes, and, you know, I'll probably always have a bit of an accent. That doesn't mean I can't adopt a lot of French culture, a lot of French values, and it doesn't also mean that I assess those values as they come around and decide as I go whether or not they're values that I really agree with and want to adopt. So all that to say that if you're emigrating, looking to move somewhere, I don't think anyone reasonable is going to expect you to completely delete your personality and what you bring to the table and become something that you're not. But at the same time, It requires a level of self-awareness to know that where you're going is different, the customs are different, the people, the food, just how you interact with people in public on a daily basis may look and feel different, dramatically so depending on where you're going. And the big problem then with Americans, as the title says, isn't that they're moving abroad. It's not that they're bringing something new even with them wherever they go. It is when we lack self-awareness and try to shove ourselves into a new place without being open to maybe changing a little bit ourselves. And sometimes needing to change a lot. The beauty then, and the privilege, the honor, is in getting to mix and match a little bit. Because there's no perfect culture. There are no perfect people, and there's an ability to take a little bit from column A and maybe put in a little bit from column B and create something for ourselves that reflects more closely who we really are. And ultimately, I think this is one of the things that makes emigrating somewhere else, like me immigrating to France, so worth all the pain and the suffering. And if you want to know more about the pain and the suffering, I'll show you what's in here in a second, but you can go pre-order my new book right now, Desert of the New. This is my first book, Sea of the Unknown, which you can get with it or you can get it now if you want. This is the book that talks about how I got to France. The new one talks a lot more in depth about the struggles of actually settling here. And boy, are there a lot. But the hope is that in reading them, in gaining maybe a little sense of solidarity, you might feel a little bit better empowered to pursue the dream of making it wherever it is you are, in Europe or in the world it is that you're looking to settle. And this is actually related. This just came in the mail. Aha! Stickers! Along with being able to add on a copy of my old book, there's also a passport to Paris that's available only with pre-orders of my new book. I've got some more insights on this coming your way, but we've got these little visas here. This is one of the visas that you can put in your passport. When you go to KB Coffee, for example, they're gonna put a visa in your passport to demonstrate that you were there. You can collect them all, and they're gonna give you a discount when you show up as well. Thanks to them. I'm very excited to see these in person. These look really good. We've been working on this for a while now. And if you're coming to Paris or you live here and you want to get in on it, they're only going to be available until the book launches. So June-ish. So I'll leave you with that. Grab that link below. Thanks to my patrons. Thanks to you for watching. And for those of you who have read the book already, thank you so much. I hope you really enjoy the second one. We're getting very close with this whole project. I can't wait to share it. See you later.